My name is Attila Biro. I'm a PhD student and researcher of Clinimetría Group. In this session, I would like to talk about the real-time, multilingual, collaborative tools and applied artificial intelligence in remote diagnosis. The main focus of the research was to find and adopt advanced distance diagnostic techniques and AI-supported algorithms in order to help the multilingual remote diagnosis to increase their efficacy, especially on the sport safety field. We were looking for some solution where the online consultation can be increased their efficacy without applying different human factors. We wanted to have the human translators or interpreters to increase their productivity and to provide consultancy services where the patient and the specialist can talk on the same level without having the same mother tongue. In a simple consultation, we have a specialist or a doctor. They can speak different languages. And if they apply this kind of consultancy by using different collaborative tools like Zoom, Teams, Skype, they can have a human interpreter or can adopt artificial intelligence solution like the chatbot. In case of the human translator, both parties have to prepare in advance their presentations or their papers in order to have that kind of preparation call on time without no surprises. The challenges of this kind of solution, the domain knowledge, so the human translator has to know about that domain, otherwise there will be some confusing translations. There could be some communication gap between both parties if their communication level is not the same. This kind of solution is not real-time because we have to adopt a human translator. There are some risks and opportunities provided by the chatbots and AI assistants, but those can increase the productivity of this solution. Improvisation might cause misunderstandings. And another topic is the spoken language proficiency. If the parties are not speaking on the same level, or they are using some dialect, that could cause different problems, even on chatbot side, even on human translator side. A more complex model could be called force model, where we can add multiple users to the same collaborative tools. We ask them to speak in the same language. For instance, they should speak in English. There will be multilingual and multi-user communication. In this way, unfortunately, we can't use anymore the chatbots because the chatbots working effectively just if there is one-to-one communication. The human translators will cause big delays because they have to understand each parties, and if there are any problems, they have to adopt the translation or the communication on the same level. But of course, because all of the parties are speaking English, there is no need for any interpreter. The challenges in this way are the domain knowledge. If you want to apply a translator or an interpreter between different domains, in this way, a specialist and a patient, this kind of communication is not real time, and it will be around 3 times more overhead. The parties have to understand each other, and they have to have the same level of language proficiency. On the video consultancy and remote diagnosis, we realized that there are the upcoming challenges. So the multilingual and multi-user conferences doesn't have currently a solution for the proper interpretation. So in this way, it will cause delays on the translations. It is not real-time, the communication. Native speakers can't explain their point of view on other languages properly. So they have to use some translations that could cause misunderstandings. Some attendees can't understand each other because of the dialects or weird English language they are using. The translations, both AR virtual assistants, are not universal. Implemented for different domains, for different topics, and in this way they have that kind of artificial domain knowledge. Advanced solutions like whiteboards or dashboards are too technical for translation engines. So we can't apply such a solution for this kind of communication topics. So that was the reason we went into into the deep and we started to research how artificial intelligence can be part of this kind of multilingual communication. Is there any solution designed for translation and to solve the misunderstanding or miscommunications? Is there any pipeline we can apply it in order to understand each parties and to have reliable and efficient solution? Artificial intelligence, can it be part of this kind of ecosystem? Is there any remote consultancy platform we can use? Very effective solution with remote teams where any language can talk with any other languages, where we can solve the dialects, same languages, we can transform translations between different parties, and some solution where we can apply almost real-time solution without using any human interpreters. Is there any solution? Actually, yes. I started with the YOLO, the most well-known real-time AI framework, which has two different type of detection, 1 stages, 2 stages detection. And we managed to have different researches in this way to see if we can detect different textual objects in order to translate them into any other languages. More complex solution was the detectron. We had to extract the feature mass from the input images. We detected the object regions from the features, and after that, we made textual object detection. And finally, we made the research in a more complex way using a PyTorch model of the Facebook, applying a transformer-based solution. And that was the most effective or most promising. As patients, you can explain yourself and get effective international consultancy as per need. And it was quite effective or quite promising, the solution. All of the parties had to focus on their self, not to have a proxy language like English for the communication platform. And by explaining yourself, you can focus on what is the issue would you like to share with other members of collaborative tools. Finally, I'd like to show how AI will support the patient. It can substitute the interpreters or multilingual conferences. Not to omit them, but to have a more effective solution. It can provide a better, quicker, and more effective brainstorming sessions between the patients, especially. It gives more flexibility, and specialists can focus more on the patient, more on the disease, more on the topic. And in this way, it will provide more scalability to involve other parties to specific topic from different domain, different countries. It is much faster reaction in this time on specific topic. And we can increase much more the communication between the patient and the specialist.